Hello fun people, I'm Isaac Carlson, and today we need to fully break down the ending of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Why did Chip and Dale decide to make a new Rescue Rangers movie? What did Darkwing Duck want? And what is the movie saying about reboots?
I guess some things are worth rebooting.
Oh, you said it!
You see, Chip and Dale explores the concept of rebooting through the friendship of Chip and Dale, while being a spin-off reboot itself that reimagines the characters. In this world, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was a show that existed in the Disney afternoon block of entertainment on television in the 80s and 90s, just like in real life. Except here, Chip, Dale, and all the other cartoon characters are simply actors who played parts in their own shows and movies, much like the Toons in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But when their gigs wrap up, all of the Toons deal with the loss of their success differently.
You got old.
Yeah, death is coming for us all, kid.
While Chip fell into a closed-off, lonely domestic life attempting to move on from his time on Rescue Rangers, Dale longed for his glory days on TV with the rest of his friends at the fan conventions. And while I can understand why Ugly Sonic was there, I'm kind of confused why Lumiere was, since his Beauty and the Beast remake literally made more money than the Jungle Book remake, and Baloo is singing jazz like he's Frank Sinatra. Lumiere should be getting some of that CGI love too, since he was literally voiced in the remake by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Monterey Jack, on the other hand, soothed himself with the consumption of tons of stinky cheese, and growing up in Wisconsin, I can understand that addiction. I still can't reject any offer of cheese curds. Sure, Gadget and Zipper found happiness starting a family of their own, but most other Toons didn't fare so well, and that includes the crime lord Sweet Pete, who would go down such a convoluted, weird, and dark journey that he eventually accidentally transformed himself into a giant, deadly combination of a ton of animated characters. You see, following Peter's big break in Peter Pan, Pete was thrown away as he grew up, leaving him desperate and all alone, so he created his own bootleg version of Peter Pan's story called Flying Bedroom Boy and made a killing. Over time, he started to forcefully recruit other Toons for more bootleg films so that he could manipulate their likeness to maneuver around copyright laws. And as his illegal business grew, it developed into the Valley Gang, which gave him the power to expand into every criminal operation in Los Angeles and even establish legitimate businesses like Sweet Pete's Porta Potty.
Sweet Pete's got his fingers in every illegal business from bootlegging to stinky cheese, getting rich while we look like we just fell off the turnip truck.
Along the way, we also learned Sweet Pete paid off Captain Putty of the LAPD, who was sick of the low pay as a police officer. With Putty's assistance, all of the investigations into Pete's illegal activities were ignored, forgotten, or completely derailed. While Peter wanted control over his life and his career, Captain Putty just wanted cash regardless of what franchise or character was exploited in the process.
I'm a greedy little smurf who did it for the money.
Together, they kind of form a caricature of a classic evil film studio executive in the reboot world we live in. They're the people who rip apart everything we love and hold dear, who pretend to be good and for the people only to sell us back the exact thing we cared about in a new packaging. And Chip despises that whole culture at the beginning of the film. He feels like reboots are tired, lame, and depressing, and are only a way to maximize the potential of an existing property.
Ambush me? Talking about a reboot? Think they can squeeze $1 out of essentially nothing.
But for Dale, a reboot is sold to him as the ultimate showcase of success. If your franchise is good enough to come back, or you can be in the spotlight again, that shows you're relevant and back on top.
You're the talk of the town. We've got heat.
I'm thinking book deal, I'm thinking reboot.
The truth is, though, that you can't reduce reboots down to simply vehicles to destroy characters, or a money-making scheme, or as a way to make filmmakers, actors, and artists ultra successful. And that's what Chip learns with Dale as they work to stop Sweet Pete. You see, the reality is that Chip had to come to realize that every piece of media doesn't have to be striving to become a cinematic masterpiece. He learns sometimes it's enough just to be entertaining when he watches Batman vs. E.T., a movie, I might add, I would totally be interested in seeing.
Garbage. Total garbage. Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Chip knows the cynical view of reboots is to capitalize on all of our nostalgia for certain properties, but that doesn't change the fact that he remains emotionally invested in characters when they are featured again, leaving him crying when he sees Batman vs. E.T. Sure, Chip still believed reboots were mostly bad, but he also got to learn on his investigation that his series was able to help shape who people are.
I actually became a detective because as a little girl growing up in Albany, I wanted to help people.
just like you guys.
You know that was just a TV show, right?
Meeting Ellie showed Chip that he helped inspire her and others to do good in the world, even though he felt like he only made a silly fictional series about crime-fighting chipmunks. The truth is that he was unaware of the positive impact Rescue Rangers had on people all around the world. Even with that realization, though, there's a part of Chip that feels like he's too old to make a return because what he'll do will seem so desperate and sad.
Right. There is nothing more pathetic than an old cartoon character trying to seem cool again by rapping.
Chip, I hear you, but I don't think we have much of a choice.
But when Chip and Dale actually get the chance to rap together, it may not be perfect, but they got to be in sync. They had fun and they bonded as best friends over the experience. And friendship was truly what mattered most to Chip and Dale. Their friends helped them take down all of Sweet Pete's henchmen, accomplices, and even Frankenpete himself. If Lumiere, Tigra, Gadget, and Zipper, Ugly Sonic, and Ellie wouldn't have been there to help them, Sweet Pete might have gotten away with his crimes, and they might not have even gotten the opportunity to bring back their show. Completely removed from what everyone would say about a Rescue Rangers reboot movie or show, I think Chip came to see he would never give up the chance to spend time with his buddy Dale. I mean, come on, Dale's nostalgia for his time doing Rescue Rangers was the only reason he survived his encounter with Frankenpete. That little Rescue Rangers collectible pog Dale kept in his shirt allowed Chip's best friend to stay alive, so how bad could continuing their franchise really be? The bootlegs Pete made proved people still wanted more from their favorite classic stories, so with Sweet Pete and the rest of his cronies arrested and imprisoned, Monty now safe with the CGI surgery on the way from Dale's own doctor, and Gadget and Zipper finally reunited with the rest of the original cast, they just had to do a reboot, and they totally did. While Sweet Pete got a true crime documentary made about him, Ellie ventured off to start her own private investigator business, and Muppet fights continued to dominate the streets along with bootlegs, the Rescue Rangers went and took over Hollywood with the return of their franchise featuring Vin Diesel. As Chip predicted, critics absolutely couldn't care less about their movie, but it absolutely obliterated the box office. Brand integration spanned across the globe. Chip and Dale got acorn-flavored water in Asian markets, they made rap music together with the snake DJ from the Russian bathhouse, but honestly, the most epic thing was the fact that they got their own video game, Disney Afternoon Fight Fest, which is an idea that would totally blow my mind if it came out in real life. The idea of a Super Smash Bros. Style game with all Disney characters would be truly epic. Darkwing Duck versus Scrooge McDuck alone would get me to buy that game. And speaking of Darkwing Duck, he had some things to say in a post-credits scene when the Rescue Rangers got on the main stage of a fan convention.
We want Darkwing! We want Darkwing! Say it with me!
Now, Darkwing Duck is the star of his own Disney Afternoon series, and it's actually the origin of his real-life show that inspired what broke Chip and Dale's relationship. You see, in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, we're told the show was canceled when Dale went off to pursue his own series called Double O Dale, which is actually alluding to an episode of the original DuckTales called Double O Duck. In that 1987 episode, a DuckTales character named Launchpad McQuack received a backdoor pilot for his own spy show that eventually transformed into the superhero series Darkwing Duck. But Dale didn't have as much luck as Launchpad, as his pilot never aired, and the Rescue Rangers were inevitably canceled. In the Rescue Rangers human and animated world, clearly Darkwing Duck had some success as well at one point, but he clearly wants the spotlight again. Now, I think that could be alluding to two things. One, this could be setting up Darkwing Duck to be a key player or possibly an antagonist for a sequel to Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but it may also just be referencing the fact that Darkwing is being rebooted on Disney+. Honestly, I think it's kind of weird because he was literally just brought back in 2017's DuckTales, and there's currently no sign he'll be connected to those 3 fantastic seasons of animated television, since all we know right now is in 2020, there are reports that a Darkwing Duck reboot was in early development. So I promise, at the very least, Darkwing Duck will return. But for now, I think we can be happy knowing every single episode of DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, and of course, Rescue Rangers is on Disney+, and that Chip and Dale are together again. But fun people, what did you think of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and what Rescue Rangers questions, theories, or topics would you like me to discuss in the future? Let me know in the comments. Thank you to all the producers of the channel who support me over on Patreon, and of course, thanks for watching and have a magical day.